Hello and welcome to another Way for Tech. This is a channel where we're discussing the ways of making digital products more user-friendly, more user-centered, accessible, inclusive, and at the same time very profitable for the business. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about innovation and why majority of businesses actually don't innovate, okay? So over 14 years working in digital space, being user experience designer, mentor and advisor for companies, I have noticed that basically all of the companies want to innovate, but they're trying to create innovation, so-called innovation labs. They try to bring in people who will tell them how to innovate and things like that. So I just wanted to cover, in my opinion, 4 top reasons why actually businesses don't innovate, although they try really, really hard to do so. Okay, so reason number 1 is very straightforward. Basically, majority of companies cannot fix their basics. Okay, and what I mean by the basics, a lot of companies have issues with their digital products on a very basic level. And when I say basic, I mean people or users cannot, finish the onboarding flow, or they cannot fill in a form. The pages are confusing, labels are confusing, the process is very long. So I saw a couple of businesses that had onboarding process of say 25 screens in their app. So of course they had a massive drop off. Of course people didn't like it. Similarly, businesses that trying to sell too many things in one go to the customer. So for example, let's say I'm trying to open an account, but in the meantime, whilst I'm in the process of doing so, I'm also bombarded with some other cross-selling techniques, trying to sell me ISA, trying to sell me loan. So those things are not gonna work, and those things are going to annoy the users. So of course they will be able to then say, I really hate it, I'm gonna drop off. So we also will have problems with conversion. So to begin with, I would say companies first of all need to fix the basics, need to have a look as, is there anything we can do to make our product working better on different devices? Still, even today, we have lots of businesses that have problems with showing their websites or platform on mobile devices. Okay, this is like a very basic thing these days. So first of all, businesses don't fix the basics and they want to go and innovate and create something very cool and completely new, but they cannot manage basics such as user experience of their platform externally for the users, as well as things that are internal, so for their internal users such as employees. So that's reason number 1. You have to fix it first to be able to actually go and innovate and do something better. Okay, reason number 2 is very straightforward, and all companies do that. Is just copying competition. Okay, there is this view that if we want to do something, we want to build a product, we want to build a new feature, let's have a look how the competitors are doing it and let's just copy this. Okay, this could work to a certain level if you're like just trying things out. I always encourage doing competitors analysis. But I also encourage to understand what doesn't work for the competitor. So there is a way of doing it. You may even run usability testing with your customers or some other customers of your competitors and see which bits actually don't work for your competitor, so you don't make the same mistake. Because you don't know, you just looking at competitor and see, oh, okay, their app is doing this and this is how they do it, so it must be working really well because they have 15 million users, so we're just gonna copy exactly how it is. Big mistake. First of all, you might be copying a screen that doesn't convert or people really hate or drop off on. You will never know that without testing. Second of all, by copying constantly the same thing from different competitors and new companies copy from previous companies, we just always get more of the same, right? So there is no innovation, there is no progress, it's just the same thing. So there was one time a lot of banks like having exactly the same experience. Nobody was doing, that was before obviously the neobanks, but all banks pretty much had the same terrible experience, and nobody was doing anything about it because there was no need, because everybody was just copying each other and everything was just really terrible across the board. So this exactly will be happening if you as a company constantly just copy competitors, which I see very, very often when I work on the projects. Reason number 3 why companies don't innovate, and I've seen it many times, is because companies are trying to come up with ideas internally. Okay, so they will have meetings, so let's say a brainstorm or whatever it's called these days, and everybody who's working in the company will come in. Maybe some agency will be, those kind of innovation agency will come in as well. And everybody will be sat and doing some throwing some ideas what can be done to innovate. This can work to a certain extent. I've seen many projects and many initiatives that came up like this. I've seen a lot of them fail. Only because if we do it like this, we're just guessing what is actually needed for our customers. We just kind of pretend that we know, and we saw something somewhere else, maybe somebody else is doing something, and we're just gonna bring it in. It doesn't matter if it fits our customers base or needs. I've seen it so many times. Even very big banks waste millions of pounds on lots of initiatives that then, for example, they can spend 2 years working on program, and then they have literally 200 users of say a feature or platform. It's absolutely ridiculous. So please don't do it. If you really want to innovate, don't look inside of the company. Go out, talk to people, do research, understand how your product fits in the lives of the customers, and how else you can improve your product so that it makes lives of your customers even better, even easier. And that's the only way that you will be able to innovate. And that takes us to point 4 and the last point of why companies don't innovate. It's very straightforward. A lot of companies ignore negative feedback from the customers, okay? There's many reasons for that. The biggest reason is that they don't want to blame anyone. So for example, if you get lots of bad feedback on App Store, lots of bad feedback via emails and stuff like that, it's being stored somewhere, but nobody really talks about it in open, because then whoever runs the program, whoever is responsible for a particular feature or a tool will be blamed, their team will be blamed, the designers will be blamed, the developers will be blamed, everybody will be blamed, and will look really bad in front of obviously board or C-suite and stuff like that. So very often, and I think it's been like maybe 80% of companies that I worked for, they never look at negative feedback, or they look at it and they completely ignore it. Okay, and there is a gold hidden in negative feedback. One of my best projects and one of my best results I've achieved by going through negative feedback, organizing it, put it in some categories, and then we were able to massively improve usability, user experience, as well as introduce the features that people really, really needed and really wanted. So that is the benefit of using negative feedback rather than hiding away. So let's just review quickly at the end. Okay, so we were talking about how why really the companies don't innovate. And the reality is that you actually don't have to come up with anything new or anything like super crazy and put AI everywhere and doing some crazy things. You really need to, first of all, fix your basics. So fix your forms, fix your pages, fix your flows, optimize for mobile devices and stuff like that. This is like a basic thing you can do to begin with, right? Then you have a great base to build on. Second of all, please don't copy mindlessly competition, because we're just getting the same constantly, and that's not a progress. That's the opposite of a progress. If you want to copy competition, first do some testing and make sure what you're copying is actually good for customers. Okay. Number three, don't talk internally about innovation. Go out and talk to your customers. Collect data about what people want, what people need, how we can improve their lives with our product more so. Having internal conversation is good, but after collecting that data, okay? Always customers first. Okay, and the fourth point, please look at the negative feedback. Negative feedback is literally gold for the ideas and improvements and innovation of your product. Okay, thanks so much guys, thanks for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, please like this video or share this video. Also subscribe to our channel for more ideas and tips in terms of better digital space, better products, as well as profitable products for the companies. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.